than when Malcolm was walking the streets of Harlem and Boston and Detroit and Chicago. We're in the same condition and the same rut. One of the things that he said in one of his speeches to us was that he felt that his generation had failed us because they had not produced the way out. He also made us acutely aware, and at the time of Malcolm, we were militants and we were raw. Our whole thing was basically tear it down. Now, we had no plan for building it back up, so I thank Allah for guiding some of us to another consciousness. My own personal experiences were that as a result of our exposure to Malcolm and many of the other progressive Pan-Africanists of the time, was that we were involved in infiltrating this situation. Our whole idea was to get into the belly of the beast and be able to learn his techniques, to be able to learn his ways and understand how he divided and conquered us while we gained the consciousness of ourselves. Many of us went on, started newspapers. I know you are familiar with the Black Panther Party and the people that were involved in that movement. And we have to understand when we talk about telling our story and defining who we are, that's the only way that it's going to be known. Because the truth of the matter is that the organizations that evolved out of that Malcolm era, like the Panther Party, they started things like breakfast programs. And this is something that the community as a whole should have started. But these few so-called renegades had to come to the consciousness of starting a breakfast program, which we never continued to perpetuate, which we never carried on. And Malcolm's position was feed yourself, clothe yourself, educate yourself. And we have to ask ourselves today, in 2015, have we done that? And that's a vital question, and it's something that's absolutely necessary. He used to also tell us about how do you go to the person who has enslaved you and ask him to set you free. Free yourself. How do you go? That's not his intention. So we were very radical, very militant, and we didn't really know much, but we knew that Malcolm had unlocked the door of consciousness for us. He had told us and given us the secret that we needed to be able to gain some momentum in the society that we live in. And I don't think that we collectively have done a very good job, okay, in heeding what was given down to us. And we need to be able to get on the point there. Yes, we have education. Yes, we have information. But what have we done with the information and with the education? Because we are sorely lacking. And all of a sudden, the very oppression that we fought against, we are now perpetrating it upon ourselves. The so-called people in the Middle East that say that they're Muslims, the African Americans that are here in this city and other eastern cities all over the country are now perpetrating the same atrocities that we fought so hard to eradicate and to get rid of. And so I think that what we need to do is to rethink this thing. And we need to get into the books and we need to study some of the things that those early pioneers tried to tell us. People like George Jackson, people like Assata Shakur, people like Harold Cruz. There were many, many people, you understand, that had given us a roadmap, a consciousness for who we were. And thank God for Al-Islam, because as I stand here 50 years later, I have finally found the route, okay? And if it's in that, if it's in the collectivism of Al-Islam that we come together, Allah has already promised us what we got coming. And he's also showed us the way through the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahabi. So through the Sunnah of the Prophet, through getting an education, as the young man just said, because truly, if you don't think that the world's fate is linked to the fate of what has happened to the African American, then you've been hoodwinked and bamboozled.
Allahu Akbar. Good teacher.